What is going on, All Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, these bad mother effing Fords that we all love to drive, this is your Ford Talk podcast presented by me and nobody else. Where is everybody? What's going on here? I'm kind of by myself. I should be singing that all by my, but I won't do it. I won't do it because then everybody leaves. I hope everybody is having a great Monday. I really do. I hope that this Monday has treated you well, because it's not treated me very well. And we're going to get into that just a little bit, but I hope the numbers grow here as I see the numbers of people joining in are joining in here, and they're coming up. So smash that like button for me. It would greatly help make my day a lot brighter. So we'll get into that, like I said, in just a little bit. What is going on, Douglas Blair? Bud Guy's in the house. Gia Hogue. Rob's in the house. Jason Leopold is in the house. Let's see who else got going on here. Kevin Hawthorne is in the house. Jack, the only one and only Jack Evans, is in the house. Let's see who else is in here. Eric Jefferson's in the house, who we're going to be trying to travel together to go up to the dunes. So that should be kind of fun. Anyone else that I see in the house? Michael Nice, of course, is in the house, and he's actually kind of being, fairly nice tonight. So I hope Unbridled Broncos in the house. There we go. Alcione Ford. Alcione Ford is in here. And Kelly might be up here in a minute, man. She just literally, I just heard her walk through the door. So we'll see what happens with her. But it's been a day, guys. It has been a day. Me and Kelly have been trying, as you see, the main topic, will the Mustang survive? We're going to get into some news about that. But we've been trying to get rid of our damn Mustang for quite a while. And you talk about something that we didn't expect to be this much of a pain in the butt. And I mean, pain in the butt. This car, man, I love driving this car. Yesterday, me and Kelly were taking it to try to get rid of. And Kelly got behind the wheel. And what's funny was she called dibs real quick. I was like, hey, we're going to take two cars. They want to buy it. We're going to need a way home. So, yeah. So we took it to CarMax. And well, CarMax can do this right here because, for one, the front of house of CarMax, you can see why if CarMax is failing. And I don't say this to be funny or anything, but this was very obvious. And I'm going to need a good one tonight. Yeah, we're going deep tonight. But you can see why companies like CarMax are failing, because the front of the house is about as bad as it gets. And I was a 21-year-old salesperson. I dealt in vintage guitars. So you talk about, I was selling, upwards of $20,000 guitars at the time. So a lot of money in the mid 90s. And you learn real quick how to treat people. And you learn real quick how not to treat people because, well, either they'll let you know it or just the oxygen in the room goes out of the way. And any guesses on which happened to us? Because we took the car up there. Dave, that's good. We took the car up there and they opened up at noon our time here. And so, we weren't in a hurry, but we tried to get up there and try to get some kind of deal going, because we've offered this car to multiple places, Alcione Ford being one of them. And by far, I will say this, Alcione Ford, who we respect quite a bit, haven't bought a car from them yet, but they got a C8 Corvette I'd really like to get my hands on, but offered us the best price for that car. Now, if it wasn't just such a pain in the ass to get them that car and actually have to get back to Tennessee, it'd be going to our friend Laura there with her family-owned Ford dealership. But it just doesn't make sense at what we were offered. But I've got a video coming up on it. We're going to talk a little bit about selling this car, and hopefully it's going to, and I'm probably going to spoil a lot of it tonight, but it's enlightening, because we all, we've all lived for the past few years in the COVID times where people were flipping cars and just, making a lot of money off of it. And we don't do that. We don't buy, there was nothing we've bought thinking, man, we're going to make I guess we could have made a lot of money on the Bronco at one point, because I was offered about 10 over when we bought it. And we just, and I don't think I ever mentioned that to anybody here, but we just didn't need, we bought that because we loved the vehicle and wanted to experience that style of vehicle. The Gladiator we bought it knowing, like, right before the Bronco, that, hey, this is a one and done, we're going to try to enjoy this vehicle as best we can and get rid of it as fast as we can, knowing we weren't going to make money on that vehicle. But those COVID times, man, got people, really crazy when it comes to buying and selling cars, and especially the used market. That in many cases the used market was outshining the new market, that's just totally nuts to me that it was like that. But and it seems so long ago, and it really wasn't. We're talking 2.5 years really, but when it was still going crazy. And well, it's reversed now. The market has completely shifted. I won't say like, oh my God, you can't buy a car anymore, but what the market is, dealers are not offering what they once did for cars. And I can only imagine the trade-in value of this car. And we'll start this off by saying our Mustang, we bought a 2024. We ordered it from Allie over at her dealership, and very well taken care of. They didn't overpromise anything. They didn't underpromise anything. They said, hey, if you want to get our first, it's MSRP. And as a lot of dealerships are doing, like a lot of them aren't needing to discount right now. And I'm afraid Mustang's going down that route that it's going to have to be heavily discounted for Ford to start moving these things. But we thought we would own this car for, honestly, we figured for 6 months, and that was going to be it. At the time, it looked like our Ranger Raptor, which was the long-term plan for our channel. It looked like that would be in probably, December, early January. And of course, we all know the strike and everything happened with that, which allowed us to keep the Mustang a little bit longer. And it was wintertime. We really couldn't honestly enjoy the car too much. We kept it parked pretty much the whole winter. Unfortunately, not in our garage because, well, I have a garage, only in name. And so it sat in the driveway a lot. I would go start it, take it around the block. We've put less than 4,000 miles on this car as well, which is pretty crazy. But we paid $57,015 plus tax, title, license, and all those goodies. And then to bring the car here, I guess Michigan can only collect so much sales tax, and then Tennessee has a little bit higher rate. So we had to get our tags. We had to pay a little bit more. But we've enjoyed the car. We bought that car because Kelly had always wanted a Mustang. I thought, why not? We'll try this for a little bit. I wanted to experience what, in my opinion, will be the last big V8 Mustang. Ford claims it's not, but I really do still think they'll hold this generation out as long as they can. But I don't see them doing another V8 Mustang. It doesn't make sense because even their trucks, some of the most popular selling trucks right now are the 3.5, the EcoBoost. It doesn't make sense to continue to make a smaller V8 now for the Super Duties and stuff. 100% agree. Yes, you're going to need the big V8s and of course the diesels as well. But for the cars, it just doesn't make sense. And a few things have caught my eye about this Mustang in general. And speaking of Miss Kelly Boyd, how you doing, Miss Kelly Boyd? She's here. She's been a little bit under the weather today. But the Mustang is not selling. I'm going to pull some sales figures up here in a little bit. But how you doing, Kelly?
I'm here.
You probably need your microphone. But Kelly had some softball stuff she had to go take care of.
Yes.
But the Mustang, I started looking at sales, especially after the figures we've been for the past month. We've just been getting and I don't even want to call them lowball sales figures, Kelly. We've been getting
insane.
Figures that don't make sense. I mean, they're that low that it does not make sense. And so $57,015 is what our car retailed at. No problem. That I felt like that for what we got of the car, that was a hell of a deal, right?
Yeah. I mean, especially after driving it again yesterday.
Yes. And I was getting into that a little bit, but we took the car to CarMax, and Miss Spunky over here, which I hadn't seen you get in that car a lot as far as like kind of being spunky with it. I think you kind of forgot how fun it was.
I did, because I actually put it in sport mode. You didn't know that. I put it in sport mode.
No, I assumed you would.
Yeah, so I put it in sport mode, and I was like, this might be the last hurrah that I get with it, because they might offer, and we just go, okay, sure, and just leave it here and let them do the deal. And so I was like, I got to give it one more run, and we had some fun.
Yeah, I was trying to get some roller shots, and the damn traffic was not going to cooperate with us.
It's awful.
But what? I mean, I know you were in the triple digits at one point.
Yeah, I think knowingly I hit 104.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I hit on the way there. I hit 104 coming back.
Oh, when we were coming back, I will say this: we were getting on the on ramp and I know you had gunned the car. You don't think you gave it full throttle, but
Yeah.
you were giving it. You
I
were
don't think I
giving
was
it
on
the
the floor.
beans. But I will say this: the Ranger Raptor was keeping up with it for a
Yeah.
while, and that yesterday, because we haven't got to pit these cars against each other. And that was one thing I was quite surprised, because the Ranger Raptor doesn't have that. Like, you don't. I mean, it sounds good, I think, for what it is, and it's fast, and it's faster than you really think it is. But it doesn't have that kind of like what the Mustang has.
Yeah,
right?
and we like to challenge each other. Well, I like to challenge
Oh
him
yeah,
at
come on in the
intersections.
show a little bit.
I like to challenge him at intersections when I'm driving the Bronco.
Yeah.
And rev it a little bit. And I know I have nothing compared to the Ranger, but it's fun. So it was fun for the tables to be turned and me to rev it at the intersection and know that you couldn't even come close to competing.
But it had to be a little bit payback too, because we have been racing the Bronco and Ranger Raptor against each other when we're in town. And
Hi, Maya.
Of course you can't. I hate to say that and not that the Bronco is supposed to be a high performance vehicle, but it's night and day different.
Yeah,
it does not keep up.
Two completely different vehicles. Like, it's fun to think that it's gonna go, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna go against some things, but it's not gonna go against the Mustang. It's not gonna go against the Ranger Raptor. Like, they're just not gonna compete.
Yeah, but
yes, I was in Mexico taking it to.
Of course,
Carvana,
of course. But it had to be
Carvana.
nice knowing when you were in that car of like kind of giving me the middle finger, like. Yeah, you're not keeping up with this one.
It's good times. It definitely. But what was the first thing I said when I got out of the car?
I don't remember. What was it?
It's probably a good thing that we're turning this in because it's just that much fun. But it doesn't make sense for our life.
Right.
Because if it could be, if we had a garage and we had the finances to keep it, it would absolutely be a weekend car or a cars and coffee fun car. It would be those things because it's a lot of fun. It's pretty. It does its thing.
If this channel was making enough money that it could pay for it on its own, 100%. And right now the channel barely makes enough to pay for one car.
Yes.
And I've never talked finances on the channel, but that's basically as much money as we make is to basically almost pay for one car.
So yeah, the fact that we're paying 3 car payments right now, that's why it has to go.
Right. And we take that hit. We can budget in our family household of 2 car payments. Yeah. We don't like to, and because we've told our story. We've gotten in the past caught up in the collapse of 9, and we paid for it. Yep. And so there's still that sting there. So having 3 car payments right now, it technically 2, we'll say, because the business does pay for one. That is
it's the extra insurance too. That's kind of that extra pain.
Yes.
And yes, I do like my license in my pocket.
But so we went to Carvana, and I was kind of giving a description of how we were sort of treated. So we go in there. Normally somebody comes and greets you, you know, and they were only open for maybe 30, 40 minutes. So at first you chalk it up to, okay, they
had their 12 o'clock rush or whatever.
Yeah. So no problem. So finally I seen somebody from management get up and tell this young kid
to go great.
Hey, and when he came up to us, he sort of checked us in. Normally they have a big board with your names on the board, so you kind of know where you are on the list. We didn't show up for some reason, and he kind of gave us this, well, we'll call you. And we were like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah. And so like this one generally doesn't ask the secondary questions. And so like, I was like, well, what does that mean that you're going to call us? Like, are you going to call us today? Are you going to call us, when there's somebody that we can make an appointment with? Like, I've never had a situation where I felt like we needed to make an appointment to be served before, especially when you're trying to buy a vehicle. And then the next question he's asked, he was like, well, are you going to buy something? And we're like, no, we're straight up trading in. He was like, oh, you just want to straight up trade in? We're like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, somebody will call you. And I'm like, well, do you know how long it'll be?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't really know. I was like, okay, so where are we on the wait list?
Well,
he's
and
like, you're second.
And he wasn't the most presentable person that you would want for a multi-million-dollar company to present to you. I won't say he just was kind of grungy a little bit. I don't know. I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel like this is a professional coming to help us.
It just felt like a checklist.
Yes. And then he goes, well, I'm with somebody. And I damn well saw him get out of his desk chair. He was just talking to somebody over there. He literally told us, I'm with somebody right now. but when I can get to you, I'll get to you. And it pissed me off like very badly because we've been there before.
Yeah.
They've always treated us fairly nicely. They've never
Yeah.
bought our car, but we've
No.
gone there before and seen like
I've done.
we did the Bronco and
No, we didn't do the Bronco. We did the Gladiator.
okay.
So we did the Gladiator,
and now the
and we
Mustang.
did
Mustang
now
twice.
we've done the Mustang twice.
There. And
this is the first time it's been like one of these situations.
Yeah. And we already know we're about to take it in the ass with this car.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and not that they know that.
Right.
But so our tone was already like, ugh, we're going to have to ante up for this one. And then front of house doesn't set the tone very well. So,
well, and then when they finally called us back to check it in.
Well, the key thing was we were like, hey, can we leave the keys with you and we'll just go get lunch? And like that just went over his head.
And he was like, can't even check it in. Can't even do anything. And like, he was like, so then when they did finally call us back to check us in, he goes, well, what's your situation? And we're like, we just want to sell the car.
Yeah. It was very insulting. Almost like, oh, you guys have to sell this. Like you're, this sounds rude, but like, oh, you're poor. You can't afford this car. And it was like, and that was the tone.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was the intended tone, we discussed this afterwards. Right. You thought, well, maybe it was just a misunderstanding, but yeah. But when the time after time after time, when he set the initial
one thing after another,
the initial contact wrong, it doesn't set confidence in his ability to figure out the car. Now, I think we've shopped this car around to about 5 different places, and we got the same price every time, except for Alcione. So we kind of knew what was coming, but this one came in $2,000 less than what, you know, and then they offered us $8,000 more 4 months ago.
Yeah. And what's funny about it is that like we were talking about it after, because we were at lunch when the guy called us, and I didn't expect he was going to give me an offer over the phone. I just figured he was going to say, okay.
I wish I videoed this.
And that's what I was just going to say is I wish you had too, because I don't normally get a little snarky with people on the phone because I'm usually really nice about it.
She's the professional. I can be the professional one, but as a rule, you generally handle that part of our life.
I'm generally the one that's nice about it because you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar is like how I was raised. Right. And so when he said it, I said, wait, did you just say, and we're not divulging, right?
Maybe in a little, no, well, we're doing a video, but there, it's going to get spoiled anyways in a little bit. So let's say the price.
So hold on. I said, did you just say, and he says, yes. I said, do you realize, I said, do they even know what the vehicle is that we brought in? I said, because you do realize that is, I didn't give the actual number, but well over $10,000 more or less than what it sold for off the lot a year ago.
Yeah.
And we had told him when we checked the car in is that we were auto journalists and we test vehicles. And so it was time for this one to go. And he was like, yeah. And he was so excited when he gave us the quote. Then he gave me the quote because you weren't on the phone, but the tone in his voice that he was so excited when he was able to give this number.
You think like he was like, hold the phone, like, I just got this.
No, I think it's probably one of the highest quotes they've given people on vehicles is kind of how I felt like it probably was, where he really thought that we're going to be able to buy this car from them. And not for the car that was brought in. That's not the number. And so when we did show back up, you don't know about
I didn't go in. I was mad.
He didn't go in.
And
so
I knew better.
I went in and he told me, he was like, be nice to him. I said, I'm not going to be nasty to his face. I said,
we'll just do it on a live stream.
I said, I won't be mean to him. I said, you know me, I just won't. And so I walked in and there was an older gentleman. He came up. He was like, oh, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, I just need to pick up keys. You guys have given us an offer.
That mother effer over there. I want to kill it.
I said, I just need to pick up keys. And he goes, oh, did you already get your quote? I said, yes. And it was laughable. I said, so I'll just go ahead and take the keys. So that's exactly what I told him. I said, it was laughable. And when the guy walked away and walked to go get the keys, he stopped and talked to that manager guy for a second. And I could tell that he told the guy that it was laughable.
Well, they should know a little bit.
They should.
Okay. So they're a business and they want to buy cars as cheap as possible. 100% understand that. I used to buy vintage guitars, like I said earlier. So I used to try to let the customer set the price and then we would negotiate from there. But this is a car business. Just way
Yeah.
different. There's
Well,
mar-
CarMax's mentality is way different too.
yeah, and there's a market value. So $57,000 is what we paid for the car, and we've only got 19 likes, and I've got 41 people in here right now. I need before I
If you
can
want to
say
know the number.
yeah, if I need I need to get these likes up before I tell you the number. But I will say this was the worst experience I've ever had, probably at a car dealership, because the tone was set wrong early.
Yeah.
The person, and maybe part of that was my fault, because I was getting aggravated that nobody wanted to seemingly wanted to help us.
Yeah, because we stood there for a good 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, which once again, early in the day, maybe you haven't got their rhythm going just yet. So,
but nobody even seemed to catch eye. That's the thing that annoyed me, was that nobody was willing to like catch eye or like be like, "Oh, we'll be right with you." Like that's how you handle people. But anyway,
Douglas Blair, we greatly appreciate you smashing that like button
Yes,
for us.
thank
We
you.
appreciate that. And if you would like to see us not go bankrupt, we do have memberships and Patreon. But anyways, yeah, so the tone just wasn't set right. He was a pretty happy-go-lucky guy, so maybe he just caught me
at the wrong time.
building up
Yeah.
this hatred towards this industry, not this industry, but what they tried to do. And once again, I understand they're trying to buy these cars as cheap as possible, and we do know there is sort of that blue book value. We got consistently, and I mean consistently, look at the likes popping up there. I greatly appreciate that. We got the same price. Once again, other than Alcione, who came in better, but not, sorry, Laura, just it wasn't enough to make it justify us traveling there to.
Yeah, because we would have had to drive it up, drop it off, then drive it back, or drive back.
Right. But we kind of knew that it was going to be all right. I need one more like, and I'll tell you.
Well, and I did ask
price.
the guy because the kid came back and gave me the keys, so he did finish out the transaction, so to speak. And I said to him, and I said, so you guys don't price match, or you don't quote match? And he's like, no. It was just like, it was laughable to him that I even asked that question, and I was just like,
how do you know till you ask?
Okay, because when we bought our Bronco, our dealership was willing to match the buy price on my BMW. So it's not like it was an unrealistic question. Like I think it was just insulting to me.
We just got that golden like.
It was just insulting to me that the way that they kind of the overall experience.
Yes. And
it was like, we're pretty smart enough people about this.
I don't know about this purchase.
Well, we
wouldn't have thought the market would have done this in less than a year. So
not at
57,000. Somebody took their like away. Somebody, we had 27 likes. Now it went to 26. Somebody literally took the like away. So I was about to tell the price.
It's true. It was.
But the market on this car is, and then when I'm going to pull up sales figures in a little bit, is starting to worry me a little bit about Ford Mustang. Everybody else is losing their pony cars. The Dodge Challenger Chargers are gone. Chevrolet did away with the Camaro once again. Oh, we're losing likes. What the hell?
Maybe they're trying to unlike and relike.
I don't know. It's scary. Don't do that. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so it's back up to one needed.
One more. We need one more. But I would have not thought the value of this car would have lost this quickly, because let's see, I'm gonna do the math real quick.
Well, and while you're saying that, it's like, it's interesting to me because I think what was insulting to me is that when I looked on their website, they were selling the same vehicle with more mileage for $52,000 online. So to me, it's like, you're really just taking advantage of the whole situation for a lot of people, is what was frustrating to me. Because it's like, I get if you're making $5,000 on it, I get that. But the fact that you're making more than that because you're buying it at what you're buying it at.
Yes.
And you ready?
Oh, look at there. So $57,000, Kelly.
Yep.
CarMax offered us what?
$40,000.
And that's a 10-month-old car.
And I told the kid, I said, you're telling me that you were offering me $17,000 less than what it was bought for a year ago.
Now let's see, divide that by, we'll say 3,800. It's cost us $4.40 per mile or that's what we've basically lost per mile driving that car.
Oh yeah, Eric,
Off the lot.
that's the same. It's also less than what Carvana offered us. So guess who's getting the car?
Yes.
Carvana is getting the car.
Yeah, don't hurt Dave's feelings. No, it's not that, but a car that's, okay,
I think it's the thumbs. It was the thumb situation.
Most people would have drove that car 10,000 miles by now, easily, if not more. And the car is less than 4,000 miles. That would not, by law, 3,000 miles in the state of Tennessee, it's still new.
Well, and even when I did an estimate through Drive Time, and they were in. I didn't tell you this, but when I was doing the estimate, it actually said
you're keeping secrets.
No, I told you I did an
car
estimate.
secrets.
No, I told you I did an estimate through Drive Time, but we had to go to like Antioch to have them estimated or whatever because they couldn't do it because they didn't know. Right, they'd just steal the car and we'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, when I put the estimate in for it, when I put the mileage in, it says, "Wait, are you sure?" Because by our statistics, it should have 8,600 miles on it. And I was like, I'm sure, keep going.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I put 3,600 on there and it says it should have 8,600.
Yeah. Douglas Ware, thank you for that.
Thank you.
You trust me. And I hate to ever sound like we beg for money, but greatly here lately that goes further than you think. We have some press trips coming up, and that's generally where until recently, because the car has zapped all of our extra money. That's where the funds were going was travel funds, but here lately.
So Allie was working late tonight.
Yeah, she might pop in. We don't know. She's moving metal, and she's finding suckers like Dave and Kelly over there. I'm kidding.
But you know what's funny, and we'll talk about numbers here in a second with Mustang. I know because you've got a plan for that. But what's funny is that when I was looking on Carvana, when I was getting the second quote on it, because for those that don't know, Carvana quotes expire after 7 days, and we were coming up very close on it.
Or 100 miles, something like that, right?
No, it's like once you hit that submit button, that's when the 100 miles starts.
But it's
7.
That's what I mean. It's 7 days or you drive at 100 more miles.
No, it doesn't even talk about that yet.
Okay.
But anyway, so what's interesting about this is that you get to that point and it's 7 days, it expires, and I'm like, oh, freak, what's going to happen if they drop it down to 40,000 and we've lost that amount of money? But what's interesting is it was popping up. It was talking about Camaros and all these other things that might be interested. Are you sure? Because you'll save an extra $38 or $2,800 if you'll get $2,800 more on your trade-in if you do this, if you do it on these cars. But the Camaros were better priced than the Mustangs were.
Well,
for used.
I think because they don't make them anymore. I think there's that. Okay, people are gonna want this.
Go in value.
Yes. And so the comment. Let's see. You can buy a brand new. Let's see. New GT Premium Fastbacks for 48 to 49 before negotiating. Well, when it's a brand new model, there's no negotiating. Trust me. Allie them treated us fine, but there was no discounts. There's nothing on a brand new car. When we picked it up, we were basically the first people I know in Tennessee to get one. But we were one of the first in Michigan because that's where we purchased the car. So a part of our business, and is we buy cars because we want to experience that car. We want to do reviews on that car.
Want to give you guys a first look at it too,
and give our opinions of that vehicle. That's part of what we do. So we have to go get the car. And in many cases, like the Ranger Raptor we have, there's no negotiating on those cars early on. Now, if we wanted to buy the car, smart money would have been like, now wait 6 months. And yes, that $57,000 car, I think I just read there was a couple $1,000 e-off from Ford. Yes, we could go save some money. And part of that, what hurts us is Ford discounting these cars now.
Yep.
Because we're caught in that, I can go buy one brand new for a couple $1,000 more than your used one. And I'm getting the full warranty, which the car still has 2 years left of warranty. But yeah, it is this one was a shocker because you shouldn't own a car for 10 months and lose $17,000. And we're going to end up losing right at $15,000, but I have to pay that out of pocket.
Yeah.
And once again, you can go, well, you were dumb. No, that's just our business.
Yeah, it's just part of the business.
And
So it is unfortunately the cost of
we
doing business
knew we would
sometimes.
lose on that car, but
But
we
not this
didn't. We
much.
didn't think you in 10 months would lose 15 to $17,000. So once again, call us silly. It's just part of the business. The Raptor Ranger Raptor will have to go at some point. Guess what? I need the content to balance what we lose to kind of even out. Sometimes it works out like the Gladiator. We lost money on the Gladiator, but for what it did for the channel, there was a big plus to it. And I'll be honest, Mustang, as the views are there for Mustang. Like we've gotten a lot of views, a lot of subscribers from it. We've made a little bit of money on the channel for that car. Obviously not
the coverage.
not $15,000. But yeah, it's some cars are probably better than others. And we kind of knew cars in general aren't great.
Yeah.
As far as like investment, the return on investment. But it's a fun car though, Kelly. Like I every time I seriously, every time I start that car, it brings a smile to my face like no other car I've ever owned. The Mustang sounds perfect from the factory. Of course, we have the active performance pack, so it has the active exhaust and all that. I figured the way we spec that car, because we were just going to buy a GT, and luckily, a friend of the channel. I guess we paid a little less for that car than $57,000. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
a friend of the channel helped us out a little bit with employee pricing, and we did save a little bit. I did forget about that, but
the fact the sticker is
yes.
Like that doesn't change the fact. Yes, what we paid for it, absolutely. We did pay.
I completely forgot about that part.
Yeah, so we did pay less than sticker.
And thank you, sir. You know who you are.
But that being said, it's still, if you look at sticker, there were no discounts off a sticker at the time. So 57,000 down to 40,000. Like
Actually, no.
Actually, we make about the same,
Yeah.
or he might even make a little bit more than me, not even counting the channel.
Take home.
Yeah, take home. Damn insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, middle class America. It's great. So
Eric Jefferson says, "Oh, there are some discounts now. Sold one today at 49K."
Oh no, 100%.
But at the time when the cars first come out, there's no discounts.
Yeah, and Eric knows.
No, I'm just saying I'm clearing up the statement.
Right. So the Mustang, hopefully this week, we think it'll be gone. Hopefully.
It just depends on how long it takes for the money from my 401k to pull.
Yeah.
So
we have to we have to pull some money from our retirement to take care of that. And as Kelly's giving the middle finger there, I give the middle finger to
it's fitting.
CarMax. And I'm sure we'll try to use them again, whether they play ball or not. That's their business. I will say the way we were treated initially, you can see why that business it's a bad business and it's a failing. Like they're lose money like crazy. So it is what it is. Maybe I'll get to take one more spin in the old car. Probably not, because we don't want to damage the thing.
We don't have gap insurance on it.
And like I was saying, I would have thought when we spec that car that I felt like we spec'd the Night Pony, the red for one. We knew, obviously, you guys know we like Rapid Red, but it's a classic 60s kind of color, which should bring some nostalgia to that. The Night Pony package, really, in my opinion, the blacked out badges and stuff, the roof, like it changed the way the car looked. We got the performance pack because we were saving some money. Allie was like, "Hey, you're saving some money here with the discount you're getting because of the employee discount. You're saving some money that way. So just add the package back." And which we did. And I'm totally 100% had the way we ordered that car.
It'd be perfect.
Zero complaints about the way we ordered that car.
The only thing is,
let me get a good drink in.
No, the only complaint I have, and it's not a complaint any other day, but except for when it's 105 outside, is when we got back to CarMax.
You have cooled seats though,
and I went to get in. Oh, I completely forgot about the cooled seats.
I know you did. That's why I just said that.
Oh.
Hey, y'all know this woman bugs the piss out of me about cooled seats. We need cooled
seats. I just don't drive it very often. That's so I forget about it.
It should have,
but anyway,
automatically, honestly.
But it didn't. They didn't, because my butt was not cool. But anyway, so I get in and I literally go to get in the car, and I literally burned touching the hot black seats.
She did. She had to get a blanket out of
So
the
I
truck.
told him, I was like, I can't get in. He's like, just get in there. And I'm like, I'm wearing shorts and a tank top. I can't get in there. Like, I'm burning every ounce of my skin that way. So I had to grab a blanket out of the Ranger and put it in there.
Right. So yeah, so that's been our experience with that Mustang, which leads me into tonight's topic. You've seen it. Will the Mustang survive? And I didn't say that thinking, oh, because we couldn't sell the car. No, had nothing to do with that. I started looking at it, got me looking at sales figures of where the Mustang, they used to sell 200,000 of the, like in the first generation, they could not, they could not keep it. They couldn't build enough of that car. And over the years, obviously, we don't want to talk about Mustang 2 and what that did for the brand. And then the Fox body stuff really brought back the Mustang, brought it back to what it was, a small car that was a high horsepower car. But I got looking at this triggered me. So let me pull this.
Oh, he's triggered.
It's it's in a rapid red for one. So but Ford Authority, who I do like to look at it from time to time and get news ideas, stuff like that. Kelly, what's that headline say?
It says Ford Mustang production decreased in June of 2024.
Okay. So, which is, you would think the car's not been out a year yet. Why would production decrease? But then in the article, it goes a little deeper that this car sales figures have done this. It's been like crazy. And let's see, according to Ford's June sales report, the Ford Mustang production at Flat Rock closed out the month at 3,031 units. That is down rather notably, it says here, decrease of how many, Kelly?
2,409 units or 44%. That's crazy.
Yes, 44% compared to May's totals. Now, you might say, okay, the Mustang's a summer car.
Right.
That initial spring boost, you sold a lot of them because people wanted them for springtime cars. And I say a lot of them. Clearly brands kill off models because of these numbers. These aren't numbers that would justify keeping a car around. We know brands like Nissan the Xterra was selling 15,000 a month, and they were like, it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed that truck off. And of course, Ford has done this with other cars they've done where the low sales figures. Now, they don't have the reputation that Mustang has. So yeah. I only say that to say, hey, the numbers are low. But at the end of the day, let's be honest, this chassis is still pretty much the last chassis. So we're able to do it affordably to make this car. So at the end of the day, they're making money on this car, but not what they would like. But so for let's see, Mustang calendar year 24 thus far, the previous low was 5,400 in April. So a previous low was 5,400 and they only built 3,000. That's kills shifts.
Oh yeah.
That's and of course the plants over there who we don't want to see anybody lose job or get laid off. Those are getting to be layoff numbers. We don't need 2 shifts producing this car. And let's see here. There was something.
Go back up.
I'm sorry.
Stop right there. So Ford has now produced a grand total of 32,931 Mustangs in the first 6 months of 2024.
Right. So, that's not going to get it done. Now, we can look at Ranger sales and go, okay, Ranger's only selling about that month right now. But I will say they've had some issue getting those to dealer lots. They've not had any Mustang issues getting them to lots. So, Lord knows we saw them stacked up when we were waiting for ours. We saw them stacked up at the plant. So, but that was from that's Ford Authority, and I'll give you all the link if you want to read into that article there.
Douglas Blair said there's been 27,444 Mustangs been sold so far this year. So the production numbers and of course the sales numbers.
Yes, which I actually have some Mustang sales figures. So, and these are what I'm going to show you guys is going to show you what's going on with Mustang, which is concerning to me because once again, I never want to see any high.
I would love to put this in a graph.
High horsepower vehicles.
Sorry, nerding out.
To lose any high horsepower vehicles, but this comes to us from badcar.net.
You're not sharing. If you
I will.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So these are sales figures. This is since 2005. You can see it right here, 2005. And they were averaging some good numbers there, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing in there?
Yeah, so you're seeing a big uptick in April,
Mhm.
May. So you're seeing like $5,000 or 5,000 cars more than February. So you're seeing that uptick for the summer months, but then you're definitely seeing that downtick, which is you're typically going to see
Yeah.
because obviously people don't want to buy cars in the winter because they're not fun on the road. Unless you're in Florida or
Right.
California or those things.
But if you look since 2005,
You're definitely seeing a decrease.
Yeah, we'll use May because May seems to be the hottest. April and May seem to be the hottest periods for it. But look at those months; they just keep
Man, look at
falling.
09.
And well, 9 you had the collapse, so
That's true.
It's hard. And I would like to say 11, 10, and 11 should be affected by that as well. And you can kind of see it here by 12, the number kicks back up to 10,000, but it really is not recovered that much. 15. Next generation of the car's been out, so there's a little bit, and people love the 550 chassis. They really do love that one. And to me, I love the design of that. I just don't like the interior. I like our interior better than the previous version, but it is what it is. But look at these numbers. They're not, we're in 2000, okay, so here we see a big drop, but that's when production changed over. And it really took another month for them to actually start selling them. But those numbers are not numbers that should justify the way the percentage. I wish you had a graph of this so you could see the percentage of how quickly the decline of this car is. And we do know that cars aren't popular anymore, right? It is what it is. So here's total sales numbers, Kelly. So 2005, 160,000.
Yes, Rob Hallmark, you're speaking my language. Yes, it needs a heat map. You don't know what that means. No, you don't know what that means. What it means is
I know when cats are in heat. Is that anything like that?
No. So what it does is
heating blanket?
No. I don't have the patience for you tonight. You know that. I started the day with a migraine, so it's not great. No, so heat map is you choose if your high numbers are red or they're green and vice versa. And so then you apply it to that. So like your highest numbers, let's say red is the lowest number. I know. So red is the lowest number. It's going to do varying grades of red and then to orange and then to yellow and to green and all the things.
I understand.
So you can really kind of see where the trending is.
So 160,000, 2006. Of course, this is definitely that throwback Mustang. So the vintage looking Mustang. So it was a very popular car.
Douglas Blair says, PowerPoint, please.
Right. But the collapse of 8, you can start seeing the sales like big time drop off. 9, of course, 66,000. And then they gradually start picking up. 13 looks like a bad year, but by 15, look at that, 120,000, which is not the 160,000 they'd sold in 5. Well, those are pretty good numbers.
Yeah, but wasn't 5 the new body style?
I forget when the changeover was on that car, but it was definitely
because I graduated from college in 5, and I'm pretty sure that's the year that the new body style came out.
Yeah. What page? Let's get your name in green. That's actually membership, Anthony, here on the channel. So we'll let Kelly do the herd spiel on that in a little bit. But as you look at these numbers, look, we haven't been in 6-digit numbers since 17. Yeah. Now by then you can go, okay, that chassis starting to get old. There's enough of them around, but 20.
Man, that's half.
Yes,
that's half of what was sold in 16.
Yes. Oh, look at this. There's your chart.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Well, but it definitely shows people can see now here's the peaks and valleys of sales of that car. How do you justify, let's say, what was it in 23? What was this? So 53,000. Let's say they do 53,000, 54,000 again. Yeah, Mobile says you're correct.
I thought.
Those aren't sales numbers that keep cars around. And we already know General Motors couldn't sell Camaros.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I think Dodge was actually selling. I need to look up their numbers, but I feel like they were selling a pretty good number of Challenger Chargers. Maybe these I haven't paid it because I haven't cared about that car, but I haven't paid attention to the numbers. But look at Canadians buying some cars. one month's worth of cars to go to Canada.
Canada.
Let's see what other charts we have here. Oh, somebody asked about European
Wait,
sales.
Go back up. Stop right there. Let it roll. Ah, so their sales are up. So Canada kind of took over, like, on a growth perspective. So if you look, Canada actually did this when the US did this. So that is interesting.
Come on, Canada, save this car. But here's somebody was asking about the European numbers, and I knew they weren't
Exports.
Yeah, they. I mean,
Man, 15,000 in 2016.
Yeah. But honestly, those aren't probably enough to justify any probably tariffs or anything they have to pay.
Wow. Yeah, look at that 2016 number.
Yeah. So 15 was probably the first year that they really got the new chassis, excitement, and then nothing. Let's see, China sales.
This one's interesting.
So
pretty steady.
Yeah, obviously the car's not there since 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what had me kind of concerned a little bit about this car is seeing how our resale of a brand new car, basically what we dropped, 25-30% in value. And then you start going, okay, well, what are the total sales like? And you're like, shit, that's not good to keep a car around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious in the comments below, though. I want to know what y'all think about. I mean, obviously we love the Mustang, and I want to bring you the good and bad news on vehicles. And right now it just doesn't look like it's good news. And I wonder if, a lot of people ask, why did they use Ford for the new supercar they built, the GTD? We saw it Chicago, freaking amazing looking race car, basically. And maybe that's one reason why they chose Mustang as their kind of do it, because the old last two generations of the car built around the Ford Versa, the GT40. That's not helping sell anything really. That's just a nostalgic race car. But maybe they're figuring, hey, maybe if we build the supercar based around a Mustang, give it a V8 again, because the previous GT did not get a V8. And maybe they thought, hey, maybe that sparks some sales for the cars.
Maybe it's possible.
I don't know though.
I think this vehicle, the sales are underrated for what the vehicle is. I think it's so much better. Like we talked about this, that I think it's worth the price that's out there to buy it in. It makes me sad that it's not holding its value. It makes me sad that this is underrated.
Well, we do know, like a lot of young kids, like our daughter, if I told her we were going to buy her a Tesla or something, she'd probably be through the roof.
Have you met our daughter?
No, I said something the other day about Tesla, and she was like, really? Anyways, our son, has a Tesla. One of his first cars that he really wanted to buy was a Tesla. He wanted a Model 3. And now he's driven the Mustang and is like, he would love to buy the Mustang from us, but he doesn't make that kind of money. But I think kids, the generation now, we've lost a generation to millennials. Don't seem to get, like, the tail end of millennials don't seem to get excited by cars. I don't know if it's because they've become so boring.
Yeah.
That everybody wants the same SUV looking thing, or what is actually affecting this. I don't think there's the tuner market. If you look at that, it's kind of dying down too. There's not that whole Fast and the Furious, ish generation. They got families now. They've got responsibilities. They got to get to soccer practice. Well, we see this generation now. We do. Field.
It is funny though, when you do put our daughter in, like, she doesn't automatically talk about having fun in a vehicle, but if you put her in the Mustang and you take off in it, she is very excited about it. So what does our son want to buy? A Subaru,
a WRX.
Like we were sitting there here on the 4th of July putting together an office project, and he was looking at Subies, like building a Subie on the website.
Till I showed him how outdated the tech and everything was, and that CVT transmission they put in, it's awful.
That's true, Rob. Our son didn't want to drive. He had a car sitting in the backyard from his mom, sitting there, probably 2 years?
2 years.
2 years before he graduated high school. And he had an aunt that took him. He had an aunt that took him to get his driver's license before graduation. Forced him.
You like the knee? Yes.
Yeah, I would agree.
100, and that's
It's just not. Yeah, it's just not a house capable.
We've definitely talked about that. For us, is if we could keep the car in, because in reality we need one daily driver.
Yeah,
and we could have a car sit in the garage if we had resembled a garage. But it just doesn't. For our business, unfortunately, we don't make enough now that it would justify paying for 2 cars.
Yeah.
Or if we had the TFL audience a little bit, that might justify some things, some fun things. But it's definitely it's a third car, and like you said earlier, it'd be a Sunday car, and it'd be fun. You go drive it for 50-60 miles, and guess what? Next Sunday you might go do it again, or if it's raining, you don't want to get the car out. Yes. I mean, they are niche cars, but the problem is they're fast. And it's hard for kids to wrap their brains around that I can push the accelerator and in 0 to like 1.9 seconds, some of these Teslas, you're 0 to 60. And in the Mustang, it's still I forget what it is, 2.9, 3 second. Ford's never officially said what it is, but you're like, but this Model 3 cost me $40,000 and it's a rocket ship. Your sports car cost me $60,000 to $80,000 and can't keep up with my 40. I think that's where kids are at with this. It's a computer to them.
It is.
And I've seen the way kids treat their computers. They're, just get rid of it. Let's get a new one.
Well, because it can't keep up.
Yeah. Jeez. Get my legs out of the way.
Been blinded by the white light.
Man, getting rough in here. So that's kind of where I thought with the Mustang, and definitely, even if you're rewatching this after the fact, you're listening to this to us after the fact, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Where are you at? I love the Mustang. I hope that nobody who watches this thinks, man, they're just shitting on this car. Not by any means. I would love anything to keep this thing. You should see what happened. The motor, they had that weird fake bubble of the whole OCC, Orange County choppers. Inflated prices of those kind of bikes, and then now Harley and them are all paying the price for all those inflated prices of those things. And of course, those people now want side by sides and ATVs.
Laura, do you have Mach-E's to sell? Is that why you're saying they're way better than Tesla?
I mean, come on, Laura. You take our Mustang and give us a 12,000 or whatever. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna be sad when that car goes.
Yeah, it is gonna be sad. It's a sad day.
So the Bronco had to throw the doors on it. We've been in 100-degree weather now.
Yes,
and the doors have been off. That's the longest the doors have ever been off on that thing. Well over a month.
Well over. Yep. And our cover kept it dry.
Yeah, we don't grow. Once again, I have a garage. I just can't.
Yeah.
Use the garage.
So it did a really good job at
we have the rain cover.
Yeah, we've got the Ford Performance rain cover for the Bronco. And I had to put it on myself a couple of times because you were either doing live or weren't home or something. And
wow.
It was super
See how she blames the audience? Because you were doing live.
I was not.
Hey, I'm just saying this shit.
Just saying I had to do it by myself. And it was actually really easy to do by myself. You had to do it by yourself one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's super easy. It's
the mirrors are a little
rough. It's a little tricky, but that makes it tight enough to stay on that the wind doesn't take it. And we had a couple nasty storms actually come through and still everything was fine. But yeah, it was off for month and a half, maybe. But I will say that being said, with the doors off, because it has been so damn hot, I haven't driven it much.
Yeah.
Because it's been so hot and you just don't want to even get out.
So Zach, you bring up a good point. So, and of course this is presidential year and I don't want to get into any of that crap, but definitely people start freezing their money a little bit. We know interest rates have gone up. We bought our Bronco. We were in the twos?
I think so.
No, the Gladiator was in the 2s and the Bronco's right at 3.
Yep.
And so a year and a half later we buy the Mustang and it was in
almost a 7.
No, it is in the 7s.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
And yes, so that's a huge increase. You're talking a couple $100 a month more to buy a vehicle. And it has come down slightly because the Ranger Raptor that we have is in the 6s. Still not fun.
Yeah.
I do remember though, like these, we are so used to, especially since I won't say 9/11, but there was that big rush to give free money or cheap money around then, that we're so used to zero interest rates and all this that it shocks a lot of people that my first car was at a 12. Now, granted, my credit score and everything,
Yeah.
but and then I remember buying my first new car. I was 8, somewhere in there, and this
You were
is
8 years old?
Yeah, this was mid 90s,
You were 8 years old?
and well, mentally.
That was yeah.
But in the mid 90s, like the interest rates were still pretty high. People tend to forget that it wasn't too long ago. Like our home, our house,
Yes.
we are what, in the 2s for the house?
2.5.
2.5. Okay, interest rate on this house. And my parents were paying 18. In 81, they bought that house and they were paying 18%.
I know we had 6% when we bought our first house in 07 or 08. Yeah.
So like people, Dave was 890. I wish. I'll be hitting 50 this year, gentlemen and ladies. But I think we got really used to, for 10, 15 years, of this ultra low interest rates. And of course, eventually you have to pay the piper on that. And we're paying for it now. That's for damn sure. Bryce says the electric Hummer 1000. We could have drove that, and I had zero interest in driving it.
Yeah.
It was in when we were in Wisconsin.
But we did win a journalist award on that. For best social media post.
Yeah. It was shitting on it.
It was like didn't skip leg day on the EV.
Yeah, they had it in that jacked up mode where it was as high as possible. It looked stupid.
So Michael Nice asked, how's the cat skin holding up to the sweat? It's holding up to the heat. It's holding up to all the things. It's great.
Yeah, I mean,
we got the heavy duty vinyl.
Vinyl and leather. All the soft touch areas are leather, and the wear parts are it's marine grade vinyl, just like Ford does. But I will say it does get a little hot when especially if the top's off. You definitely have a blanket.
But you know what I noticed? It's not as hot as the Ford marine grade vinyl, if you could compare.
Well, if the doors are off, you've got ventilation.
But even when we had the MGV on there, I felt like I burnt more on the MGV than I have on the cat skin. I know there's something weird about it doesn't get quite as hot.
The only concern I have with it is the orange stitching we have.
Yeah.
Does it hold up to the sun?
That should be interesting to see.
Does that in 2-3 years, a lot of heavy sun on it?
Will it be white?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think it'll whiten, but it'll definitely lighten up for sure. But I love it, Michael, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
100%.
I would personally, though. I would like to do the brown leather. Is what I would. I think with the red, I think it would have looked great. But either way, we chose well. And I get pretty good views on that video still.
Anthony says Teslas are terrible. A Mach-E or even a Hyundai Kia EV are way better. I will say we've been quite impressed with the Kia EVs that we've driven.
Yeah, we did the
K6.
The 6. I can't think of what it is right now. Like that vehicle, and the one I want to drive is the Ioniq 5N. I really want to drive that car badly, and I would own that car. I would lease that car for a year. And that's the only way I would do EV is lease. I would lease one for a year. And after that, let that be somebody else's headache. What else we got going on there?
So do we have to have our Ranger Raptor race at the takeover?
Do we have to? I mean, we don't have to. I'm willing.
Do we get to have our? Sorry,
yeah,
do we get to?
And we'll film it. Definitely. Laura's on my battle list though. Laura. She's the reigning champion out there in her little 2-door scooter that she drives.
Laura, let's not even talk about it. How much younger you are. That explains all the extra energy she has.
Yep.
And you don't act your age, Michael Nice said.
No, I'm pretty dumb. And Phil, if you got questions, comments while Kelly's looking for more, bring them in.
There's one you can read.
Let's see. Anthony says the only EV I would get is the Mach E GT all-wheel drive or the Ioniq 5N, but I would remove any reference to Mustang. Well, we've talked about it in the past, and Ford's hinted at it that the only reason it's called Mustang, I think, I can't justify or verify this. That I think it's if you to bring Cafe for that model up to help keep the as a company, they have to hit, I forget what it is now, 30s, it's mid 30s, I think. But I think to keep that up, they have to kind of fudge Mustang Mach-E. I could be wrong on that though, but Farley was hinting to that in a Smoking Tire podcast a few weeks ago.
Douglas Blair says, I'll keep my Mustang until the day I die. I
Nice.
wish we could. For sure.
I can see this would be a lifer.
It would. Yeah.
The tech doesn't seem like it'll get too crazy. I have found that I dropped a shorts and a reel or whatever you call them nowadays. I did drop that on all the gauges, and we did get the updated. I've been waiting for it, and we finally got the 60s dash updated. And I have to say, the Fox body doesn't do anything for me as far as like, oh, that brings back memories, and that's more my generation car.
Oh, the inside.
But that 60 one that you can get is freaking rad, man. I love that. It's really cool. Again? It's freaking rad, man. Totes.
Douglas Blair says it's a 2013.
It's a boss, though. Like a boss.
Yeah. I got nothing more for you.
Well, she's doing weather forecasting. Let's see. Bryce says the new Tesla Roadster has a range of about 620 miles. That's LA to San Francisco nonstop. But have we seen that car yet? That's my problem. And I'm not an anti-Elon guy. Like, the Cybertruck doesn't piss me off. I mean, I don't want one.
I parked next to one at the meeting tonight.
Nice. Why that pisses people off, I have no idea. Like, nobody's requiring you to buy. It's not like in your neighborhood they're required one, and you just so happened the lottery said you had to buy it. You know, it doesn't. I would drive it. I would like to drive one just to see what it's like. I do find it funny that people think it's some off-road beast, and yeah, no, the thing weighs probably 7,000-8,000 pounds at minimum, so it's heavy on trails, and it's long wheelbase, so it does get stuck a little bit.
And from our experience from driving EVs, I'd be curious to know that 620 miles, what was used in the vehicle itself during that time.
That's what the claim range is.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't change the fact.
Well, they haven't even built the car yet.
Okay, but it doesn't change my statement. Are they using AC? Are they charging phones? Are they doing all the things?
You're not understanding. They haven't built the car
I know yet. They haven't.
What Tesla does, though, and you don't understand is Tesla throws out these numbers.
Okay, like that's fine. But what I'm saying is I will be interested when they do build it, what statistic they're basing that on.
But here's the point is Tesla said the Cybertruck would be over 500 miles on a charge. Not even close. So that's why I'm kind of telling you that is because Tesla just is like got a dartboard and there's a 500, 600, 700 miles and they go, hey, this one gets 600 miles.
But my point I'm bringing up is not just on that. It's just in general with the EVs is that they're basing mileage on driving down the road and they're not basing change on climate, using AC, using all the things.
Yes.
That's my point.
No, with the Nissan Ariya we had last year was just awful for we literally drove across town isn't 10 miles.
Mm-mm.
And now granted it was hot. It was this time of year, so it was definitely
the AC did not cool 90s. As much.
And that is one of the problems I have with EVs. Any EV I've been in, the compressors do not keep up. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it's probably some engine tech that they're trying to force into EV tech, but the cars never, in my opinion, never cool down. Now I can't say for Tesla because I haven't been in a Tesla long. We were in one in Vegas. It was hot, but I don't recall. I wasn't paying attention, I guess.
No.
Yeah, let's see. Definitely lease. Yes. No. That's the way. And there was an article came out. I can't remember where that was, where it was talking about people are choosing now to lease EVs because, for one, just like our Mustang, they go to sell them, and you lose a lot of money on that. I was interested in our next car. I don't know if it can be Ford, but I would be interested in leasing the Mach-E Rally for a year. I know our friend over at Long MacArthur has his, and he's in love with that car. Where is Allie? Allie's moving metal. As you, Miss Alcione, you should know if your employees has a chance to move metal. What do you make them do? Move metal.
Dave, you're not listening to your wife. It's true. Day in my life.
Very true. All right, so we got to do this real quick.
Hold on. What are you gonna get ready to do?
Go ahead, click your thing while you're talking.
So Bug Guy 8829. This is a really great question. So if you didn't already have one, would you choose the Bronco or the Ranger for everyday driver or in mild off-roader? Bronco.
Ranger.
Mild off-roader?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
You've already said that we probably wouldn't do
Well,
much with it off-road.
That's because of I don't want to damage the vehicle.
Yeah, but you even said these were more race trucks than
They are, but what do you consider mild off-roading? Most people think a gravel road is off-roading.
what I consider mild off-roading. I would go Bronco.
Yeah, let's temper that one because your mild might be somebody's extreme.
I'm about done with him tonight, guys.
Don't be done with me.
I'm about done.
All right. So I want to share this. So we can do our one little sales pitch. I haven't done this in a long time. So memberships. I guess I should get rid of the that. All right. So membership. Somebody was asking earlier. We offer a cheap membership, $5, and we have a $20 membership here. They both get the same thing. You get, in most cases, not every video, but most cases, you get early access to the video, whether it be a few hours or it could be a couple days early. You get access to those videos. Past that, that's what you get in with the membership. Now, if you go to Patreon, I try to do some photos. I try to give more of my typed out thoughts, nothing too deep, because honestly, I just don't have time to. If this was my full-time job, this could be better, but unfortunately for us, it's not full-time right now. But you do get access to stuff like that. You definitely get more if in either way, you get more if you need to communicate with us. It's easier to do. Steve P, who's in here all the time. Florida. What's his name? Jack Evans. Those guys, I communicate a lot with them through Patreon. They're big supporters for a long time. Mark, who's usually in the chat, he's been a major supporter of ours for a long time.
Eckerman.
Andy's been a major supporter, especially on Patreon for quite a while. And Patreon for us, we get a better cut. Most people don't realize, and I've seen these super chats and stuff get me $500. We don't get that. We get 55% of that, which sucks. But Patreon, when you're a supporting member,
it's very much appreciated, but it just sucks 100%. How much YouTube takes.
Patreon, I think we get 65% of the money. So it's either way you like to do it. But that's our spill. And I hate selling myself on this stuff. I feel cheap and dirty for doing it. But unfortunately,
he doesn't always like to be cheap and dirty.
Yeah, that's only on the weekends. And we've done in the past, we have done some members on the membership side. We've done some live streams that way. We had a problem with nobody really participating. I think they think it's like this, and they don't realize it's the chance
exclusive for them.
Yeah, they can talk and have fun with us, but I don't think they ever realized that. So, and our daughter was in those, and she liked doing those, and then she didn't want to do them, and now she wants to do live streams again.
Yeah, before we left the house tonight, she was like, "Can I be on the live tonight?" And then we got home with Pizza Hut, and then she was ready to eat her Pizza Hut and be done.
Buy merch, they get a better cut, which we do. We have a Teespring, and that is all on our website, allterrainnation.com. And
it is shipped directly from Teespring, so it'll get it. So
you'll actually get it.
So you don't have to wait on us. That's the key.
It's not in this video right now, but I will put it in there. There's our PO box if you ever want to send us some snail mail, anything like that. Feel free to. We been doing some sticker exchanges, even though somebody was mentioning Instagram, they didn't see their sticker on there. And I don't generally, they're usually here in my office on the desk, and I haven't seen any that I know of.
Unless we have any at the post office.
Yeah. But so all the stickers go on the tailgate of the Bronco.
Yeah.
So we have fun that way. And
or it might be behind the table. That sticker might be behind the table.
Could be. Yes. I think you met us at Supercell, and I don't think you if there was any money exchanged when you met us. I don't know. That's where
being
the money
funny.
is. I know. We do that though. If you're at Bronco Supercell East, we're definitely at those. Come say hi to us. We have a booth for basically we give Tom money for a booth because we just like to support that community. We don't really sell anything, or we're not looking for that. Come hang out with us, and we're super cool because we're not. We're just people.
Like,
Hey, I'm trying to get that super chats going. What are you doing here?
I'm pulling out Anthony Sparaccio's stickers right now.
We owe Anthony stickers?
Yes.
Well, she's giving the good ones too.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm really behind for his, so
Oh, Anthony, get her. Any more Mustang stickers, Kelly? Do we?
I got you. I got
We
you.
don't have many of those left though.
No, but I got you.
And I will order some more, even though we won't have the car. Do we have any Mustang keychains left? I don't think those went quick.
Yeah, there's one. Those are harder to ship though.
No, I was just going to show them. So we have these little
Mustang. Say those are harder to send.
Mustang keychains. But the U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah, they don't like it when you send things that are bigger than a sticker. Okay, I got you hooked up.
Yeah, look at this. Ooh, and the Ranger Raptor sticker. Look at that.
I got you.
What check didn't clear? Oh, let's see. Rob coming in with a good question, Kelly. How is the Set Power fridge holding up considering the brand for my Bronco? Well, first off, if you do choose that brand, we have a link.
Yes, an Amazon link. And we don't it's an Amazon link. Yes. So we get the kickback from that perspective, but we don't get any referral, anything like that. But we're big fans. Like, we're huge fans. We actually went and he bought another battery pack because we were at the ball field in 100 degrees all day. And we really needed that one. We really needed like a quarter of another battery pack. So we went ahead and bought another one.
And we used it this weekend at the ball fields. Mm-hmm. And how hot was that? When I told you we had to move it.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
The top of that was hot because it's
black.
Well, it's a black top. Yes, the black top, so it's attracted to this, the heat of the sun. But it was at 23 degrees on the side of it, and it wasn't like it was having to keep up with it. Yeah. The thing with those refrigerators, I will say, and any of these, pre-chill them. Yes. And I don't mean just like for an hour or two before you go. I would honestly give it almost a day. Because
just at least a few hours, like at least probably 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
to get full cool.
Yeah, but I've noticed I did it the last time a day before, and I think that helped it keep its cool down. Yeah. But we have 2 of those battery packs, which once again I like those. I didn't know if they were kind of gimmicky or so Set Power sent us that refrigerator. And then they sent us a couple months ago, that battery pack to try out.
Before Supercell.
And then I ended up buying one from them. Yeah. I was like, and I didn't tell them about it. They probably would have sent us another one for free, but I was like, no, we don't try to be greedy with, when people are wanting to work with us. So
do you have that on a website? With an Amazon link?
I will throw it in here real quick.
But yeah, we are pleasantly surprised by it because honestly, like we actually talked to a couple of the parents at tournaments.
Yeah, we sold a couple, I think.
Yeah, we actually talked because people would just ask about it. It was like and I told them the exact same thing. I said we don't get any kickback on it. They sent it to us. They wanted our honest opinion. I would absolutely buy it again. It's reasonable.
So these fridges usually around $1,000.
Yeah, so it's actually really reasonable right now too. It is actually $318 right now.
Using our link.
Yeah, so grab our link.
Where is that?
It's up at the top left. Get link. All right. So here's the link for that, and we'll get a page added on the site too. With
I need to on our website. I'll definitely
go find the battery pack too. I'm curious what it's running right now too.
Down here.
But that we've been pleasantly surprised by it. We actually, I know we've kind of mentioned this, but we actually had gone to Costco and gotten a package of sandwiches, and we put it in the refrigerator, and we handed it over, and like nothing was soggy. Everything was great because it's not sitting in ice. It's not doing all the things.
Oh, tomorrow is Prime Day.
Yeah,
You're
so we got to go
correct.
ahead and post on that. So yeah, so and what's cool about this power bank too is it, and actually we used it for that this weekend too, is that several people were like, "My phone's dead. Can I plug it in?"
That's the first time we've had that happen.
Yeah, and so people were coming up and just plugging into the set power while it was charging, or while it was running the refrigerator, they were charging off of it as well.
Yeah, what you get a USB A and C plug.
Correct. Yep, one of
Yeah.
each.
And we were there. We got to the ball field. The great thing
8
about the
o'clock.
Ranger Raptor, and I've been meaning to do a video on this. I was thinking about this yesterday. The cool thing about the Ranger Raptor is it has both the AUX power plug and it has a corded power plug in it. So we plugged
Yes.
we have a portable speaker because every kid has to have music coming up to the plate for softball. So I didn't realize I forgot to charge that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to plug that into the actual household plug. I put the cooler into the AUX plug. It charged both of them.
Yep, on the way to the
No
ball field.
worries. And then we plugged. So we plugged. We got there about 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it started, and we didn't leave till
9:30.
Yeah, the ball field.
Yeah.
And the second pack had a good 20%, I think, left on it.
Yeah.
And that was with running the refrigerator too, plus a couple phones being.
Well, and what's
charged
super cool about the battery pack too is that it magnetic attaches to the side of the
Hold on a minute.
refrigerator.
I'll since we're talking, actually, I guess I should share what we're actually talking about. Yep. So maybe. So this is the battery pack that we're talking about right here.
And they've actually dropped the price on these. These were $200.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're down to 99.
And I assume is maybe they weren't selling many. So they were 150 and now they're 99. And I like it, especially if we kept it charged for emergency situations, it would be nice to have for that. Well, having the refrigerator is great too. For that. Well, Mobile, you spent money on your Dometic because that's a top choice brand, which I would love to have, but this company they sent us one for review, and I think both we saw how big it was and was like, well, that kind of it might be a little too big for our needs. If it's in the Bronco, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But after we've gotten to use it, and I think we've used it way more this year than we thought we were going to use it.
Oh, 100%. And this is what I was telling the parents at the ball field, because we actually had a parent that I was really kind of talking to about it. He was like, how does that really work? Do you like it? And I told him, I said, I'll be honest with you. When we got this sent to us and we talked about it, we were like, we probably won't keep it. We'll probably find we'll test it out. We'll use it a little bit and we'll find somebody who would use it. And
we tend to give stuff away that we'll review products. And a lot of times
so we won't sell it or anything. We'll just we'll give it over to somebody who would actually use it after, we're kind of done testing it. The Tuffy box.
Tuffy stuff that they've sent us, we just give it away.
Yeah. But this, after we've spent the summer with it,
she ain't giving it away.
He's not giving it to anybody. It's staying.
Yeah. We used it at Christmas. We had people come over. They put their drinks in it.
Yep.
Kept their drinks cool.
Yep.
But no, it's that I know this sounds like an ad for it, but once again, they donated one to us. And they were very nice to do that. I have no obligations to keep promoting it, but I like it a lot.
One thing I will say is be prepared though, is that, and we talked about this weekend, I think, is that it is like a metal lined freezer that you would have gotten, not like a cooler. So it's not like a cooler interior. It's like a freezer. So it definitely has a basket in there and you kind of use it for that perspective. But the fact that I don't have to worry about ice and water and everything in it and all those fun things. And honestly, we were putting our phones in between games. We were putting them in the fridge to cool them off.
Yeah, because our phones were getting
overheating
pretty hot.
Yeah.
And then our friends over at Down South Adventures, they ended up getting one and using it. I will say one key thing, and it's probably with any of these, if you put it to 32 on the side of the freezer, don't expect it to be 32 inside. You kind of almost got to go 5 degrees cooler
Well,
then-
if you're outside with it, because I did notice everything was frozen after we came back from the ball field.
well, it's been
Saturday.
it's been sitting in the
That's what I'm
house for
saying.
me.
So the next day it was all
Yeah.
frozen, but previously we could run it that way.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
that's a lot of conversation
I
tonight.
know that's Ford talk with coolers.
Really. But hope that answers your question, Rob.
Yes. Hopefully, if you haven't, hit us up on Instagram if you have any. You want to go
Yeah.
deeper into that, or you know.
But it's definitely holding up.
Email us, and we don't mind throwing some pictures, whatever that
Yeah.
way. We would hate to see anybody. You know, $300-400 is a lot of money still.
Yeah.
And I would hate to think
We
that.
want you to be happy.
Yeah, that people were like, I don't know.
With it.
So, anyways, that is it. Maybe we'll see Allie next week. Wait, what is next week? Will I be here? Will I be here? I don't.
It's
even
already
know.
cool enough, Douglas Blair. I don't need Mustang.
Put your Mustang in the fridge. Yeah. Eventually, they might come for it.
Well, I know some friends from the Michigan Bronco Club actually got.
Oh, that's right. They did mow it.
And it was actually the part of the reason for it was because they needed a place for more stickers, and so it is now their sticker.
Which location. I've been meaning to throw some stickers from ours, but
Oh, really? Okay.
I guess not. So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive.
these badass Fords and freezers in our drive, I don't know, man. It was a good pour. It's been your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd.
And I'm Kelly Boyd.
And what are we?
We're out.
Peace, everybody.
See ya.